got, if you like, transitory values, like you love winning, you know. Well, you love winning until in life's experience you suffered being a loser, and now have an empathy for those that lose. In other words, some of the difficulties in life can become such a blessing in that they change your values. You know, your compassion greatly increases when you know something of suffering, not so much suffering that it's overwhelmed you, of course. I mean, gosh, we don't want people to be shattered, do we? On the contrary, we want to rush to their rescue. Do you know we all love rescuing? We all love nurturing. We all love creating things, you see. Life is creativity. Good changes that bring more life, more creativity, more wonderfulness, more harmony, more beauty, more loveliness. It's not easy to find someone that doesn't value something of that. And if we do, we find they're in a tragic state of despair. And our heart goes out to them, doesn't it? Doesn't treat them as some enemy to be crushed and wiped out, but, you know, someone to be rescued. How can we rescue? Certainly without, you know, destroying ourselves. I mean, I'm not asking for sacrifice. I'm just saying that in my completeness, whatever level that is at the minute, I want to help. There are limits to what I can do to help, because I'm incomplete and perhaps don't have full access to the resources of heaven. Well, not immediately anyway. I can cry out in prayer for such to be available. We can intercede, can't we? And in the meantime, I may have to keep such people some distance because they're lethal as well as in great need. I went to rescue a dog that had been hit one day. I got off my bike, I was a teenager, and he was hit and he ran to the hedgerow by the side of the road, and I reached in to lift him out, to embrace him and rescue him. And of course he bit me, didn't he? Because he was terrified. His whole experience was stressed. I mean, I didn't in any way hold any malice or grudge in response. I mean, I just appreciated his plight so much. And they said I should have a tetanus injection, but wow, we don't take advice, and I was fine. Young man, I guess my immune system was up to it, whatever it was, or perhaps he wasn't rabied and so on, you know. I mean, I was in England after all. So anyway, all was well. I mean, it wasn't well for the creature, of course. I wasn't able to rescue and help him. I just took that as given, where you can't help, Marshall. I mean, you'd like to, but isn't that a shame? I could help him, but I can't because of him. And we'll come across people like that. We'd love to help, but we can't because of their condition. Their condition is such that the cost to us is just enormous. I mean, they'll destroy your life because they lash out. They can be dangerous people. So you can't rescue everyone. It doesn't mean to say you can't do what you can do. And, you know, well, if it's a wild creature and you can't come near it, at least you can throw it food until he recovers. Yeah. If he's a tiger and he's preying on the children in your village, perhaps it's best not to feed him, I'm not sure. Depends on your level of how well you know your God. You know, I'm worried about some conservation of some creatures, I think. You know, what about the village that's preyed on by the tiger? I mean, sure, we might want to keep tigers, but then it's going to... is it acceptable to me? It's going to prey on other animals. Gosh, I find that pretty horrific. Do you see, I can't do personally much about rescuing the tiger. Can I rescue the so-and-so butterfly? Oh, now, yes, I can do that. I don't see the butterfly as doing much harm in his normal life, you know. How about the ferret, the stoat, weasel, and fox? Oh, well, that's a bit more difficult because they're going to be destroying life that I'm also concerned for. I'm not sure what I can do there to help, even whether I should help. But of course, if the fox is injured, gosh, that's calling on my parental instinct, isn't it, to want to rescue and help, regardless of the damage he's going to do in life. So I would help. I think animal hospitals are a loveliness in our culture, just a loveliness. And hospitals are generally, I mean, they help everybody, don't they? Good or bad, they don't check out your morals before they come to your rescue. They don't check out your values, do they? In some societies, they check out your bank account first. You know, your ability to pay. That's very sad, isn't it? But there's scarce resources and they prioritise for the more successful in their societies, and the poor, they don't get so much help, do they? We might not be happy about that. But on the other hand, would you be happy about a world that had just infinite number of people in desperate poverty? In other words, be careful if you're going to embark on major social change, social and economic and political change. You could change it to a system that has more problems than you have today. Be very careful. That doesn't mean to say you don't tweak the system and try and make it better, but fundamental changes are in such uncertainty that you can make a fundamental mistake and bring mankind crashing as a species. You know, I mean, Hitler or Stalin's solution to putting the world right as they saw it was devastating, wasn't it? You could say the same of the Old Testament flood solution to God's view of what to do on the planet. How about wiping it all out and starting again with 8 people? It's not a genocide that many people take to today, is it? Our view of God has greatly improved, I think. Jesus and update were a tremendous, as Jesus and Buddha were a tremendous update, and Muhammad, tremendous update to the religions of their time. You could say there's some continuity going on there because nature can't make a disjointed jump very easily at all. There was some continuity, but they definitely brought great changes that were long overdue. And so we've had wonderful people, and we've called them avatars or great teachers or messengers or anointed ones or messiahs and so on. It's not too good an idea to worship them, but it's a much better idea than ignoring them. So again, you don't want to sweep in and wipe out religion. Religion has its place. It's been a great blessing. It can be a great curse in certain circumstances, and well, when you get beyond that level of development, it can become a curse. And you need someone like Jesus or Buddha to come along and Muhammad and put it right, and they do. They have. Well, that's good. But there'll be others revising it in the future too. And you may refer to them as prophets or avatars or whatnot, but, well, give everything its due, put it that way, but not more. When it comes to God, we give him his due, but we revise our view of him from time to time. And these astonishing people in our history have personified some of the upgrades we've made, haven't they? Astonishing people are not to be taken as God himself or herself, or however you see God. Your God should still be what you truly value at heart, and pursue that with all your heart, soul, mind and strength, yes, with a tremendous openness though to the fact that you might have got some things wrong, and if things are still going, especially tragically wrong in your life, it's an idea to just check over those values and see if they need some sort of slight adjustment. And it can be quite slight, but one that is more to satisfactory than the complex that you have at the minute. And that, I think, is what living is about. A classroom in which we adjust our values according to our experience. And if you fall into a pit where your values are not being adjusted accordingly, then the life starts to dry up and you end up with, the cardboard shapes that are sitting in the pews, worshipping but not moving a muscle. You can't hear them sing. No one speaks out. No one really talks to each other. They go to church for fellowship and they go home without it. And that's, of course, the epitome of disaster. So we don't want that, do we? Whatever the religion is, we don't want that. And we don't want a heap of clones either. Identical cardboard shapes. That's even worse. Oh dear, the choir in uniform. Oh my goodness. They all got to move at the same moment. And they've all got to say, oh no, it's no good at all. And I don't wish to be entertained anyway. But anyway, that's where I am. That's not necessarily where you are. Worship what you truly value and follow it, utterly faithful to your God. Okay? You'll find that your God, even if he hadn't to begin with, starts to want to embrace others. Okay, very cautiously. It's embracing only those of a similar faith and denomination and family even, I mean, they're the only ones you're really embracing, but the fact that you are starts to make you reach out. There's hope. There's hope that you'll reach out beyond your boundaries to embrace a God that's more wonderful than your view at the present. But it's your view at the present that counts. What other God could you worship but one that's compatible with your view? So you can make changes that are compatible, and those changes are actually more fundamental than you think, and what's compatible becomes greater. The field advances. In other words, you're in a situation of growth, aren't you? We are spiritually growing. And if we're not, we're dead in the water, aren't we? We're going to sink soon into oblivion. We may rise again, but that depends on your theology, doesn't it? Thank you, Heavenly Father.